Good day, guys. My name is Roy Stander, and I'm your JLO teacher today, grade 10. We will be doing Unit 2.5 Influence of Gender Inequality on Relationships and General Well-Being. We will be discussing the following subtopics, which are sexual abuse and violence, teenage pregnancy, as well as STIs. So the importance of discussing these subtopics within Unit 2.5 is to broaden our understanding of sexual interactions and their risks. So learners, these are the following lesson outcomes. Learners should be able to recall the dangers of having sex. So the one of the main aims for this topic is so that you learners can understand that having sex in sexual interactions comes with a lot of dangers and risks to it. The next outcome is learners should be able to recognize sexual abuse and inappropriate interactions. So the problem that we have in our society is that people don't know what is sexual abuse. They do not know what is inappropriate sexual interactions. So it is important for us to teach you guys, you learners, to identify these sexual abuse in inappropriate sexual interactions so that you know when to avoid it and how to prevent it. The next outcome is learners should be able to recall the different methods of reporting sexual abuse. So I know reporting sexual abuse is a very tedious task. It's an extremely difficult subject to report on because people, especially like in the families, uncles touch daughters, and when the daughters speak up about it, then no one believes them, or people like the police don't believe the females because they are in a relationship with the guy and just say that they want to get back. So we have to know the appropriate ways to report sexual abuse. We have to know how to handle the situation. The next outcome is learners should be able to list ways to protect themselves from teenage pregnancy. It's extremely important to protect yourself from teenage pregnancy. And the best way to protect yourself from anything sexual related is to abstain. And I will repeat that. The best way to prevent sexual risks is to abstain. Do not have sex until you are old enough, until you are married, actually. So, learners should be able to list ways to protect themselves from pregnancy, such as contraceptives, such as ways to prevent pregnancy. The next outcome is learners should be able to list common STIs. Common STIs such as HIV, gonorrhea, hepatitis, herpes, those type of STIs, learners should be able to list them. Next outcome is learners should be able to know how to treat STIs and how to protect themselves from STIs. This is in relation with how to prevent teenage pregnancy. What did I say is important? The best way to prevent this is to use protection or to abstain. Okay, learners, so we are reading from the Focus textbook, Unit 2.5. Okay, so the difference in status and power between genders in a relationship leads to difficult experiences such as sexual abuse and violence. Forced sex and inappropriate interactions are considered sexual abuse. So any interaction, doesn't matter who it is, your father, your uncle, even your mother, if they inappropriately touch you, or even On social media, when people ask you for pictures and send you videos and pictures themselves, those are inappropriate interactions and is considered sexual abuse. Teenage pregnancy is when teenagers fall pregnant. Keyword teenagers. These teenage pregnancies is caused by many factors and is then detrimental to the future of little girls and women. Being pregnant early on as a teenager is very detrimental to your future because you will have to focus on providing a loving for a child. STIs are sexually transmitted infections and they can be very fatal if not treated. Sexual abuse and violence. Sexual abuse and violence when girls or women are involved in relationships where power is not equal. Men may decide on the conditions under which sex happens. Sadly, this may mean forced sex. Sexual abuse includes rape, incest, violent sex acts. It refers to an inappropriate or wrong touching by family, friends, or strangers that make you feel uncomfortable. When you are forced to have sex, it is usually sexual abuse. Report abuse immediately and tell an adult whom you trust. It's important to tell someone you trust because most people aren't trusted, they won't believe you. Some men are violent towards women and beat women up. These men are uneducated and do not understand women abuse. They do not understand their greater body strength does not give them the right to abuse women. So a lot of men that aren't educated, they don't know right between wrong. They just think that they are right because they are superior with strength only, but they are incompetent. Internet and cell phone sexual violence is on the rise. Never send anybody, even if you trust the person, a photo of yourself naked or a sexual act. Often these photos end up on the internet or get passed around school on cell phones. This leads to embarrassment and can lead to sexual violence against you. I've seen this happen many of times even when I was in high school. People used to send naked pictures around and then at the end of the day it gets posted on social media or it gets passed around during school hours and then everybody knows your business and that is a form of sexual violence. It's a form of sexual abuse. Do not send people pictures of your private parts. It is inappropriate, guys. Teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy is a very common thing in South Africa. It is one of the biggest issues with sustaining a bright future for our future generations. It's a very, very difficult problem to deal with and it's a sensitive topic. Okay. Teenage pregnancy. Unwanted teenage pregnancy may happen because of peer pressure. Peer pressure is when your friends tell you, do this, have sex, have a baby. They force you to fit in by having a baby. Lack of information on safe sex and contraceptive, that is birth control and prevention. So this is the reason why we actually educate you guys about pregnancy and teenage pregnancy so that you guys know not to have sex. That is the best advice, the best knowledge you can know, which is to abstain from having sex. But when you do have sex, make sure that you use safe methods such as contraceptive. The best alternative is to use condoms in birth control, but birth control and prevention such as injections do not stop STIs. Condoms are the best way to prevent STIs in pregnancy. Poverty is another factor. Poverty, people could have sex for money, which is called prostitution. Rape, rape is another way a teenager could fall pregnant, which is an unwanted pregnancy because it was forced sex, inappropriate sexual behavior. Wishing to have a baby to feel loved and have someone to love, but not wanting the baby once it is born because you are not ready for such a responsibility. Thinking having a child will keep a relationship going or force a marriage. Being forced to get pregnant because there is no choice due to gender inequality, it is the man's decision. STIs. STIs includes HIV and AIDS. Gender inequalities influence your exposure to sexual transmitted infections. STIs, including HIV, in some societies males act out their masculine roles, so take control of sexual relationships. Gender customs may force women to be passive or obedient in sexual relationships. This means women may not discuss or negotiate for safer sex such as condom use or abstinence. Hence, they will not be protected against STIs such as HIV. Guys, HIV HIV spreads quickly when women have no say in the use of protection measures during intercourse, such as use of condoms. There is age mixing in sexual relationships. For example, when a man of 45 has sex with a girl of 15 years old. Those of you that want blessings, do not do that. Just abstain from that. There is more than one partner. There is transsexual sex. This is sex that is paid for. Rape occurs. Rape occurs, guys. That's where some people get infected from. Untreated STIs. Guys, untreated STIs are very detrimental and fatal actually. If you do not treat an STI, you gonna die for it. It's a fact. You won't just heal from an STI. Anyway, untreated STIs. In both females and males, untreated STIs can increase the risk of HIV transmission. So that means if you don't treat it, it will definitely be transferred to somebody else which you interact with. Women are at higher risk because most STIs go unrecognized, unlike in men. The source and other signs are absent or harder to see. That means that STIs, they are really hard to see in men, or it might not even show up at all in a man. There will be no symptoms. That's why girls, you have to be careful of who you interact with when you're older, when you get married. Do not interact with males on a sexual level at a young age. Just abstain, girls. So women do not suspect they are at risk. Even when there are symptoms, STIs in women often go untreated. Guys, you have to go for treatment and you have to actually get tested first for a STI because many of us walk around with STIs. We are born with it, we get it from somewhere, I don't know, and we don't know. That's why it is best to go check. It is best to get tested so that you know exactly what you have. And you have to get tested before it's too late. You don't want it to be too late, guys. Thank you, guys. This is the homework activity. Have a shot at it. Answer the questions. Good luck. Thank you, guys, for viewing the lesson. Have a good day.